Single dad accidentally sees female CEO changing, his life changes forever. Ethan Cole wasn't the kind of man life paused for. Life rushed past him, loud, impatient, unforgiving, while he stood still, holding his 5-year-old daughter's hand and counting coins before buying groceries. A widowed single dad, Ethan worked nights as a maintenance supervisor in a glass and steel corporate tower downtown. The job barely paid enough, but it came with health insurance and a quiet dignity he clung to. That night, the building felt different. Too quiet. Rain tapped against the tall windows as Ethan finished a late inspection on the executive floor, an area usually empty after sunset. He checked his clipboard, sighed, and turned down a corridor he wasn't scheduled to be in. The door at the end stood slightly open. He knocked. No answer. Sorry, maintenance, he said, pushing it open just enough to peek inside, and that's when it happened. Inside the private office suite, near a wall of city lights, stood a woman mid-motion, startled, vulnerable, human. She froze. So did he. Ethan turned away instantly, heart slamming against his ribs. I'm so sorry, he stammered, backing out. I didn't know anyone was in here. The door closed, silence swallowed him. He stood there, face burning, ready to resign on the spot. What Ethan didn't know, what he couldn't have known, was that the woman behind that door was Lena Hart, the company's founder and CEO. The youngest in the country. Ruthless in boardrooms. Untouchable in headlines, and tonight, alone in her office, she was exhausted, tired of being invincible. Minutes later, the door opened again. Ethan turned, prepared for security. Or worse, instead, Lena looked at him, not with anger, not with embarrassment, but with something unexpected, understanding. It was an accident, she said calmly. I saw your badge. Ethan, right? He nodded, stunned she even noticed his name. You could have pretended nothing happened, she continued. But you apologized. That tells me something. He didn't know what to say. No one important had ever noticed him before. She studied his worn jacket, his tired eyes, the quiet honesty in his posture. Thank you for being respectful, she added. You're free to go. Ethan walked away that night believing it would end there. He was wrong, because sometimes, life doesn't change with a loud decision, but with a silent recognition. And just when Ethan thought this was a story he'd forget, the next morning proved otherwise. The email arrived at 9:07 a.m. Subject, meeting request, executive office. Ethan read it 3 times, convinced it wasn't real. By 9:30. He stood outside the same office, palms sweating, heart racing, not with fear this time, but confusion. Inside, Lena Hart sat behind her desk, sharp suit, composed expression, yet her eyes softened when she saw him. Please, sit, she said. He did. I asked to see you, Lena began, because last night reminded me of something I've been forgetting. Ethan listened quietly. I've built companies, closed billion-dollar deals, but I've lost touch with people, she admitted. You reminded me. No one had ever said that to him. She'd looked into his file, saw the night shifts, the perfect attendance, the note about his daughter. She didn't pity him. She respected him. I'm starting a new internal program, Lena said. Operations, community support, real impact. I need someone honest. Grounded. Someone who understands responsibility. Ethan blinked. Me. She nodded. I want to promote you. Train you. Full salary increase. Day shifts. His breath caught. My daughter, he whispered, you'll be home for dinner, Lena replied softly. That was the moment Ethan's walls cracked. Over weeks, they worked closely. Conversations grew deeper, about grief, pressure, loneliness. Lena wasn't just a CEO. She was a woman who'd sacrificed everything for success and still felt empty. Ethan wasn't just a maintenance worker. He was a father with quiet strength and unshakable integrity. They healed each other without trying. The world noticed too. When the media praised Lena's new compassionate leadership, they didn't see Ethan behind the scenes, steady, humble, unwavering. And when Ethan's daughter smiled wider than ever, he knew his life had truly changed, not because of what he accidentally saw, but because someone finally saw him.